Hey everybody, what's up? It is Dom here, back again. We're going to be talking Battlefield Portal. It is right around the corner. If you guys have the gold edition, you'll be able to play just this Friday on November the 12th. But then you'll have to wait a couple more days if you're going to be playing from the normal version of the game there. But nonetheless, we're talking Battlefield Portal here today. I got the top 10 ideas for updates that could come to it that could change a lot of aspects of the game, making it a lot better, adding new games potentially, and some maps that may have been missing that may have made you scratch your head and wonder why, because these are some of the most iconic maps in Battlefield history. Why weren't they included in the lineup originally? But let's just jump straight into it. Coming in at number 10 is Omaha Beach from Battlefield 1942. One of the most iconic scenes in all of history. Of course, the D-Day, the beach landing there. Omaha Beach in particular, where the Americans got very hit hard there. And I think it would be great to put this in the game from aspect of you could do the beach landing from the reversal. You could do it where the Germans are taking the beach for some reason. You could do it from a modern perspective of modern Americans taking on modern Germans, or in the case, I think with Battlefield 3, it's the modern Russians there. But you could do even the futuristic setting with Battlefield 2042, taking the beach or holding the beach versus the World War II Americans there. So I think there's a lot of aspects there you could do. I'd be very curious to see how they handled the beach landing scene, if it'd be on a much more smaller map or if they expanded out on a global scene like with the 128 players, having VTOLs and jets flying everywhere instead of just your normal bomber planes and everything there. Could we get helicopters also landing on the beach? I think there's a lot of fun to be had there in particular. Coming at number 9 is the dark horse of Battlefield. It is Battlefield Hardline. I really enjoyed this game. I know a lot of people didn't. They had some fun game modes there, but I think adding that like cop element into it, cops and robbers, not just like the maps, but some of the game modes they had there would be pretty cool. I know we're sticking more towards like the actual Battlefield side of things and not just like the cops and robbers stuff that was really going on in that game there. But I think if you add some of the elements there, and specifically like the weapons choice there, give us some of that. I think that'd be really cool to incorporate. Maybe not to have the entirety of the game as a lineup on the screen, but it would be cool to have some of the features there. Coming at number 8 is mod support. Now, Battlefront 2 in particular did a great job of allowing people to have a lot of mod support there, going whacking crazy, adding stuff that the game didn't have originally, or just expand on it after the game's final updates there. I think if Portal had mod support, you could go wild with it. The possibilities are endless at that point for what you'd want to do with it. And so I'll leave it on that one. Let you guys say down below what mods or crazy stuff you would want to add or do in the game that has nothing to even do probably with the Battlefield there. Now, so number 7 here, we have the Battle of Iwo Jima there, the map there from Battlefield 5. Now, I don't see them adding Battlefield 5 in particular because we already have Battlefield 1942. But I do think they're going to take some elements of some of the newer games there and incorporate them in particular. Now, Battlefield 5's Iwo Jima was beautiful. I love the map, everything about it, all the tunnels and everything there. I think that'd be a great another one to incorporate there. I've already mentioned Omaha Beach. We got a bunch of islands and beach landings there on this list, but I do think it is just another map that deserves a lot of love there in particular. Now at number 6, we have Wake Island from Battlefield 1942, and this is actually a big surprise for probably a lot of people. Incorporate in the map layouts of everything that's going to be there from the large, the medium, and even the smaller maps taken from the medium maps. We do not have Wake Island actually, which people would say is probably the number 1 map that's iconic in all of Battlefield history. So why wouldn't we have this here? I think maybe they're going to incorporate that later into the expansions for Portal, and so that'd be cool to see that map in particular and give us some of the more iconic ones like Metro there. And I'm going to mention another iconic one here shortly. Coming at number 5, Battlefield 4's Shanghai map, the Siege of Shanghai. We have that giant tower where you can go up the elevator. It just goes tumbling down. I believe in the trailer for it, we had like helicopters shooting through, tearing through glass. This is when they really brought forth the Levolution there. And this would be a pretty quick map, honestly, because they wouldn't have to do a ton of work to remake the whole thing, make it more modernized. I think it still holds up today, honestly. And while I don't see them incorporating like the entirety of Battlefield 4 with, like I said, with Battlefield 5, I think this one in particular, you could still get away with it. It might be a little bit more odder, I think, but some maps will be when you start putting in like the World War II guys or even the Bad Company 2 guys there. But I think from what is it, Battlefield 3, having those guys there on there shouldn't be too much of a difference from Battlefield 4, hopefully. But I think taking some of the maps from the games that they might not incorporate would still be very useful in their case. Next up on our list at number 4 is Battlefield Bad Company 2 Vietnam, the expansion. They haven't really talked too much about how much of the expansions they're going to put in there. Might have missed something there for some information and drops or leaks there. But I think it'd be cool to kind of flesh out. You get your World War II, you get your Cold War, modern, futuristic, all of that. But Vietnam in particular, I think when you start going through the jungles, adding more elements there, I think that'll be really cool if they do incorporate Battlefield Bad Company's 2 expansion. If they're already going to have the main game there, let's see how far they'll dive into the expansions for those games. Now, number 3 is a very interesting idea I thought of with creating a campaign or creating your own war stories essentially in Battlefield Portal. Now, I know Battlefield Portal can be played solo with AI. You can just completely roam around. You can do 1v1s. You can do it whatever you want with it. But one thing it hasn't really talked about is could you create your own story? Could you create your own narrative with the map rotation? Are you going to tell the story similar to the past games, sticking with it, maybe do an entire World War II story, or maybe doing an alternate history story where the people from the future of 2042 are going back to assist the people of Battlefield 1942, and changing the tide of war. I think that might be something cool to look into, adding your own text there. I don't know how in depth with the coding we'll really be able to go in here, but it would be cool if they incorporated something like that where you can go and you can create your own stories, add some text and narrative with them for if you win the mission or if you lose the mission. Kind of give some text there, maybe even branch off. If you lost the mission, then you have to play this mission from this angle instead. Coming at number 2 is Battlefield 5's elite characters. Now, Battlefield 2042 has these specialist characters, and in my opinion, I think the Battlefield 5 elite characters are much better. They look better. They've got more personality to them. Now, we won't be able to say that for certain until we get our hands on the game more outside of just the beta that everyone was playing there, and see how they stack up there. But I think the specialists would be really cool to add from the side of 1942, add a little bit more flavor to that. Don't incorporate the entirety of Battlefield 5 probably because you already have 1942, but you could have the specialists there being the assistants, even give them some cool little traits or abilities. I think, that would probably make it a little bit more of what they want in the side of the specialists with the elites here from Battlefield 5. All right, coming in at an honorable mention here is Star Wars. Look, it's Battlefront, Battlefield, DICE, EA, all that fun stuff. It probably would never happen getting your Star Wars characters in there. But as a big Star Wars nerd, I would love to see it. Wouldn't you love to see like some VTOLs or helicopters, bombers, fighters taking on your X-wings and whatnot? I think that'd be pretty cool. A Star Wars beach landing, all that fun stuff. Even they haven't really talked too much on Portal if like you can incorporate, maybe have your Star Wars dudes from a helicopter dropping down. If you can incorporate Battlefield Bad Company 2 vehicles with like a World War II infantry. We're diving too much off topic on the honorable mention, but I just think that'd be kind of cool if they'd incorporate some of their other IPs. And coming in at number 1, as you probably would have guessed, is Battlefield 1. Now, why I mentioned before, I don't think they'll add the entirety of games like Battlefield Hardline, Battlefield 5, Battlefield 4. I think Battlefield 1 is the one in particular that they would be like, okay, this is going to be our big, massive drop for Battlefield Portal. Like I've said before, with having World War II, Cold War, modern, futuristic, Battlefield 1's World War One scenario just gives you a little bit of that, just a little bit before Battlefront 1942. Battlefield 1 just phenomenal, looks great, played great, everything about it. I think it was just an absolute home run of a game for them there. And there's just so much content in that one game that they could just pick up, just put in the Portal, and it's just going to run. They could just run like the whole mile with making Portal even bigger than it was with the core games they already have by adding this whole new game with its own era that stands off from the rest. Because with Battlefield 5, you got 1942. Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. Battlefield Bad Company 2 is kind of like its own little thing. And then you have the own futuristic setting for Battlefield 2042. But Battlefield 1, there is nothing like it. And that's why I think it's got to be number one on that list if they do drop it there. But that's my list. Tell me what you guys think down below. If you guys want to play Battlefield with me and the friendos, we have a Discord link down below. Come by, say hi, all that fun stuff. We'll be doing some Portal stuff. I'm going to bug my friendo Haig, see if we can get a server rolling for us 24/7, if that's even possible, really. And other than that, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I'll see you guys on the battlefield. Peace out.